You found 500 papers on your study. You cannot read them all. Your supervisor asks, what are your inclusion and exclusion criteria? And you freeze. Here is how to set clear boundaries that make your literature review focused and feasible. This matters because without inclusion and exclusion criteria, you will read randomly, you don't know when to stop. You can't defend why you included some papers and not some others. And your literature review will generally lack focus. With a clear inclusion or exclusion criteria, you have a systematic process. You can defend every paper you included. You know exactly when you've covered the field. Your review is rigorous and focused. Let me show you how to set this criteria. Inclusion or exclusion criteria are rules that you set to determine which paper makes it to the literature review. You think of it like a filter. You found 500 papers, you apply that filter, and 30 papers are only included in the review. You want to ask, what must a paper have to be included? What automatically excludes a paper? Let me give you the 7 dimensions of criteria. You need to decide criteria across these dimensions. The first dimension is the time period. When were the papers published? You need to answer these questions. How recent should the papers be? Are classic or foundational papers from earlier acceptable? Is there a cutoff date? This matters because in fast-moving fields, old papers may be outdated. In theoretical fields, classical papers may remain relevant. So you have to be explicit about your time boundaries. The second dimension, publication type. What type of sources will you include? These are questions to ask. Am I using peer-reviewed journals only? Am I using books and book chapters? Am I using conference proceedings? Am I using dissertation and thesis? Am I using grey literature? The typical academic standard is for you to use peer-reviewed journals primarily, but justify if you include other types. The third dimension is the language. What languages will you search in? English language publications only or English and French publications? Be honest about limitations. English only is common and acceptable if justified. The fourth dimension, the geographical or contextual scope. What contexts are relevant? Ask questions like, are there any geographical limitations? Are you looking at specific settings, maybe urban or rural settings? Are you looking at specific populations? This will highly depend on your research question. The fifth dimension is the study design or methodology. Are you including all types of research or you are selective? For example, are you more focused on the qualitative or quantitative or mixed method research? What kind of research designs are you looking at? Are you looking at empirical research only or also theoretical papers? Most literature review will include diverse methodology. Sometimes you focus on experimental design so that you can assess causal relationships. The sixth dimension is the topic specificity. How closely must papers relate to your specific topic? You must define your boundaries here. The seventh dimension, which is very optional, is the quality threshold. Do you have minimum quality standards? Are you looking for papers that were published in journals with impact factor greater than 1.0 or studies with clearly described methodology? Like I said, this is very, very optional. Before reading another paper, define your exclusion and inclusion criteria. Write them down, apply them systematically. Your literature review will be focused and defensible. I'll see you in the next one.